So the first workout or exercise we're going to do, corrective for deep squat, going to be the partner prone quadricep stretch. So I'm going to take his right leg. I'm going to actively push on it until he feels a stretch. You feel a stretch? All right, tell me when. All right, and I'm going to hold it for 5 seconds. And I'm going to release. And I'm going to do the same for the other leg. Tell me when. And also hold that one for 5 seconds. Alright, so since Will scored a 3 on the deep squat, most of his correctives are going to be to maintain his fitness in those muscles. So as we did the first one, we did the prone partner stretch for the quads. Second, we're going to do the dorsiflexion stretch, and he's going to use his towel to pull it back. And he's going to hold it for 10 seconds on each side. And since he had pretty good scores on everything, we were able to just use things around the apartment for him to perform these correctives and not. Alright, for Will's third corrective for his deep squat, we had a handheld roller here at the apartment. So what he's going to do is just roll out his hamstrings, like we talked about in methods of resistance training. This is self-myofascial release and is going to help him with tightness and to keep those muscles loose, to keep the fascia from becoming hard and knotted up. So that is his third corrective for deep squat. Alright, for the hurdle step corrective, Will got scored a 2. So his first corrective he's going to do is the stride with torso rotations. And what you do is you put one leg up and you twist to the same side for about 8 reps on each side. For time purposes, we're only going to do one side here and then move on to the next one. Alright, for the second hurdle step corrective, we're going to do strides with hip external rotation. So Will is in the stretch right now. He's got his heel flat to the ground with his leg being stretched on a surface about mid-thigh range, being a chair in this stretch. So for these, he's going to do each leg for about 5 to 10 seconds, 3 to 5 reps, or 3 to 5 sets of about 5 to 10 seconds each. And hopefully that will be able to help his score on the hurdle step. So that's number 2 for that. Alright, corrective number 3 for the hurdle step is going to be the straight leg bridge. As you can see, he's got one leg bent while the other stays straight, and he brings his hips up to get that stretch. And this is for a score of 2 on the hurdle step. And what he'll do is about 3 sets of 5 to 10 reps on each leg, or until he feels like he's getting an appropriate stretch in them. So that is corrective number 3 for hurdle step. Okay, so Will got a 3 on inline lunge. So his 3 correctives that we're going to do are going to be just really basic stretches that are going to help him maintain the flexibility and the mobility in those quads. Here you can see we're using the handheld roller that we have at the apartment to roll out the outside and inside of his quad to make sure that they get a really good rollout so that they don't become tight. He maintains the flexibility that he had during the FMS test. So that's corrective number 1, or stretch number 1 for the inline lunge. Alright, so corrective number 2 for the inline lunge, we're just going to do a really good hip flexor stretch. You can see he's taking a knee, and what he's doing is leaning against that left hip flexor as he pushes on his right leg. He's going to get a stretch on the left side. So he's going to do this for about 5 seconds, 5 to 8 seconds on each side for about 3 sets. And we're only going to do 1 set here for time purposes, but this is going to be stretch number 2, inline lunge. All right, corrective number 3 for the inline lunge that he scored a 3 on. We're going to do the leg lock bridge. What's important is that he holds his knee towards his chest as much as possible and then drives through his heel on the ground. And he's going to push up for about 10 reps for 3 sets. And he's working that left leg there. And so that's corrective number 3 for the inline lunge. All right. We got a 2 on the shoulder mobility for Will here. So the first corrective we're going to do is the wall sit with shoulder presses. So the main thing here is that you have your back up against the wall, and you're going to keep the points of contact with your shoulders, your elbows, and your hands through the entire stretch and bring them down to 90 degrees as you see him doing there. So you're going to get about 3 sets of around 8 reps, 5 to 10 reps, 8 in the middle there somewhere, so that'll be a good one. And you're going to do that for about 3 times, and then take a rest and then repeat. So that's corrective number 1 for shoulder mobility. All right, corrective number 2 for shoulder mobility, we're going to do the 90-90 stretch. So what Will's done is he put a pillow in between his knees there, and he's going to keep those stationary as he opens up his upper body to try to touch that other hand to the ground, and then he brings it back. That's the 90-90 stretch. He's going to do about 5 to 10 reps for 3 sets to get a good stretch in those abdominal muscles and really the whole upper body. All right, so the third corrective for shoulder mobility is going to be the trunk rotations. So Will's going to hold his arms out to the side and his legs at 90 degrees, and he's going to slowly rotate them to each side to get a good stretch. And where this is going to help him is on the reach behind him during that shoulder mobility test. He scored a 2, so it's not too bad, but with a little extra flexibility, he will be able to improve that to a 3. So what he'll do is he'll get about 5 to 10 reps on each side for about 3 sets, and that'll be that for the shoulder mobility. So that's the third stretch for shoulder mobility, and now we'll move on to the active straight leg raise correctives. All right, so Will scored a 3 on his active straight leg raise. So this is kind of more on the side of it's good for a person with a 3. It's also used on someone who would score a 2. But what he's doing, you can tell, is holding both feet in the air as he lowers one. He's unsupported, so it's working those muscles a little bit more. If he wanted to make it a little bit harder, he could do them both at the same time and bring them up together. Do that. Put them both down at the same time. There you go. And bring them up together. And that's going to get a little more stretch. And so what he'll do, as with all the other exercises, is get about 3 sets of that with 5 to 10 reps each leg, or if he does them like that, just 5 to 10 reps. And that's the first corrective for his 3 on active straight leg raise. Okay, for his second stretch for the active straight leg raise that he scored a 3 on, he's just going to do the inverted hamstring stretch. What this is going to be keeping that left leg straight on the ground with his arms out beside him, and he's going to bend over until he feels a stretch in that grounded leg's upper thigh. So in that left leg now, he should feel a stretch. And then he's going to come back up and do the same on the other side. He's going to do 4 to 5 reps on each leg for about 3 sets, and that's going to be his second corrective. All right, for Will's second stretch on his active straight leg raise that he scored a 3 on, we're going to do the wall stretch, where he's going to have this leg up against the wall with his butt up against it and his other leg straight against the ground. He's going to hold that stretch for about 5 seconds. He could hold it for longer if he wanted to get a better stretch. What he's going to do is he's going to do that for about 3 times each leg. And for time purposes, we're just going to do this one leg and move on to the third active straight leg raise. Just kidding, this is the third. Okay, so Will scored a 3 also on his trunk stability push-up. So for his first corrective slash stretch maintenance exercise, he's doing push-up walkouts. As you can see, he walks out into a push-up and then walks his hands back. All this is going to do is help him maintain that ability to keep a 3 on that trunk stability push-up.
While you're something's broken right here.
Yeah. All right. So trunk stability push-ups, he got a 3 on. So for maintenance of that, you really can do any variants of a push-up, because all it's going to do is help you maintain that upper body strength. And as he's doing those push-ups, he's just making sure that he's bringing everything up at one time with no lag. You can see he's doing a good job of that. So for that, he'll do about 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps, and that'll be the second corrective maintenance exercise for trunk stability. All right, so third trunk stability push-up exercise is going to be an incline push-up on this chair that we have in the apartment that is perfect height. So what you can see is he is doing what looks like a normal push-up, just elevated. This is going to make the exercise a little bit easier. This also is usually used for a person with a lower score, but since he has a 3, any exercise is going to help maintain that flexibility and that mobility to keep that 3 on that trunk stability push-up. All right, so that's correctives for trunk stability. Now we'll go to the next exercise. All right, so for the last exercise, the correctives that we're going to do, Will scored a 2 on the rotary stability. So here he's doing Russian twists that are weighted. You can do them not weighted, but we actually had something around the apartment that had a little weight to it. When you carry in a case of water, it's heavier than you think it is, so this actually serves its purpose. So these Russian twists are going to help with that rotation. And what he'll do is 3 sets of 10 reps on each side, and that'll be that for the first exercise. All right, number 2 for the rotary stability is going to be a plank with hip flexion. So what Will's going to do is get in a position like he's about to do mountain climbers. And it really is like a mountain climber type of exercise, except it's just slowed down extremely into more of a stretch and not a gut-busting exercise. So what he's going to do is about 3 sets of about 10 reps on each side. And this is for a score of 2 on the rotary stability. And that's the second corrective. And we'll move on to the third corrective and finish up. Alright, so the last exercise that we're going to do, or corrective that we're going to do, this is for the rotary stability. And this is called the prone to supine roll. And what he's going to do is lead with that leg. And that's going to work on that flexibility of that midsection and that rotation, and that's going to correlate to the rotary stability, in fact that it's going to help him be able to hold that exercise a little bit better and maybe get a 3 with the same side and not just a bird dog. So he's going to do 3 sets of that for about 10 reps on each side, and that's going to be it for the correctives on Will Gaylor's FMS test.